With the PlayStation 5 becoming more and more readily available as the months go by, we're starting to see the arrival of third-party accessories. Kick off your shoes and relax your socks while we check out some of the cheap third-party PlayStation 5 options available. As the months have passed since the PlayStation 5's original release, I've started to see more and more third-party accessories available for the PlayStation 5. So I decided I'd reach out to one of these companies and see if they'd be happy for me to review some of their products on the channel. And Benez were kind enough to send me over 3 of their products: a silicone skin for the PlayStation 5 controller, a charging dock, and a PlayStation 5 base that comes with a lot of extra features. Now, first of all, I want to talk about the skin that they sent over. Now, these are silicone skins that come in a variety of colours, but I went for the standard kind of translucent white colour. You see, I love the way the PlayStation 5 controller looks, so I didn't want to take away from the look too much. To date, I've never really delved into the world of skins for my controllers or grips for the thumbsticks, but ever since receiving this product, I think I'm a convert because I really like the feel of this. It's got a really nice kind of smooth suede texture to the actual silicone cover itself, and it's got nice extra grips on the sides. But what I really like about the skin is how it perfectly fits the controller. You can hardly even see that it's there. It almost feels like a natural part of the controller itself. Now, I'll run some B-roll of this so then you can see just how snug the fit is, and it's really easy to put on as well. Funnily enough though, with all the memes I've seen about the PlayStation 5 controller, especially those that refer to it looking like it's wearing a top with straps, when I was actually putting on this skin, it felt like I was dressing it in a top with straps. Because as you can see here, the fit around the actual triggers themselves has got like a little strap feature. And as funny as that might be, it actually makes it really easy to attach this to the controller itself. It also comes with a selection of thumb grips as well. And like I said, thumb grips were never really anything I delved into. I always thought the way the controller was designed was the best way to use it. But again, these grips are absolutely gorgeous. They've got a really nice soft squishy feel to them and a really nice tactile grip to them as well. Now, there are multiple options and I went for the shallowest ones. I don't really like thick chunky thumbsticks, so I went for ones that didn't really change the profile of the thumbstick itself. They just gave it the nice feel to it, and it's got the little funky paw print on it as well. But in the package there were a number of different thumb grips with ranging depth, and some of them coming in concave as well. So I definitely felt like I had the variety to fit my needs. Now, ever since putting on the silicone skin and the thumb grips, I've not taken them off, and I don't intend to. You see, I've got a 6-year-old son and he likes to play the PlayStation 5 as well. He's really good. He never touches the controller. If he's been eating snacks, he always washes his hands first, but it's inevitable that some grub is going to get on there. But having this skin on there, I know it's protected because none of the seams or grooves are accessible for any of that gunk and dirt to get stuck into. So this was a nice surprise, and skins and thumb grips are definitely going to be something I look to in the future. Now, the next product we're looking at is the Benez charging dock for the PlayStation 5 controller, and this pretty much does exactly what it says on the tin. Using a USB 3 port on the back and having 2 USB 3 ports on either side for you to just slide your controller into, like so. And it's a pretty good grip as well. You see, I'm not worried about that falling out. This third-party charging dock does as good a job as the PlayStation 5 official charging dock. And what I really like about this are the aesthetics of it. It's light, it's unobtrusive, and it's designed to match perfectly with the PlayStation 5 design. Now, another thing that I really like, and this is going to be down to personal preference, is the way that the controllers are docked. You see, with the official PlayStation 5 charging dock, they're laid upright, whereas this one is quite unique in that they're placed symmetrically either side. And so when you do have 2 controllers in here, I think it has a really nice look. But again, that's going to be up to personal preference and which kind of style fits best in your shelf and which one maximizes the space that you've got. The dock also comes with the standard features you'd expect, with lights to indicate if your controller is charging or if it's charged, and also with nice grips on the bottom so then the dock doesn't slide about the place. What I really like about the third-party docks that are showing up is that it's giving you options for how you want your setup to look, especially if you're somebody that takes pride in a game room or in the way that your consoles look on a shelf. You might want them staggered or stacked or symmetrical like this. You will want to have that option to be able to decide how it looks on your shelf, and having a variety of options out there for your charging dock is a really nice thing. And so far, the Benez charging dock is the only one that I've seen that does it symmetrically. Now finally, and I've saved the best to last, is the Benez cooling base for the PlayStation 5. And this thing is truly unique. I've not seen anything like this for any console consoles previously. Now I'm not going to try and lift this thing up, I'm just going to let the B-roll show you what's going on, because it's pretty heavy to hold the PlayStation 5 as it is, let alone with an extra base on the bottom. But straight away, the first thing you notice when you see this base is all the little extras that come with it. It's not just a standard base. And these extras are not gimmicks, they're really useful things to have in a base. For example, you have the ability to stack 15 games. Now for a hardcore collector, that's certainly not going to be a whole collection, but what I find is that as a collector, I'm usually playing around about 5 to 10 games at a time, and I like to have those out of the collection somewhere so they're quick to grab. Now whether I use those for PlayStation 5 games specifically or not, this stand is really nice to have those games in there ready to grab to play on whatever game or console I want to. If you're not a big collector and the kind of person that trades in games, then you may only have 15 games at a time that you own, and a stand like this is brilliant to keep those games in one place and ready to play straight away on your PlayStation 5. The next thing, and something that's really useful for me, is a headphone stand, and it's a nice headphone stand as well. I like to take good care of my headphones, and so it's important to always have somewhere to rest the headpiece where it's not going to affect the nice soft spongy parts of your headset, so they're not going to get dents in there. And the stand that comes integrated into the space that rides up next to the PlayStation 5 does a brilliant job of that. And what's more, if you have the Pulse 3D PlayStation 5 headset, it looks absolutely stunning with that headset right next to your PlayStation 5. On that stand there are also a couple of little extra hooks where you can put things. I personally put my little extra microphone on there, or you can just have cables, I guess, all rolled up just hanging on there ready to charge any other items. Now when it comes to charging, there are two really easy to use docks for your controllers. Now these docks work using a magnetic system. The base itself comes with 4 little magnetic pieces that fit into your USB 3 socket on the PlayStation 5 controller. Those 4 pieces, when not in use, sit nicely into their own little holes into the base. When they are in use, they sit in your controller, and all you do is you stand up your controller on its head into the base, and instantly it's ready to charge. Honestly, this is so easy to use, and it's my favorite way to charge the controllers. You see, sometimes with these docks, even the official PlayStation 5, when you've got the little USB 3 piece sticking out and you're trying to push your controller in there, if you don't get it perfectly, you can scratch the soft and delicate white surface of the PlayStation 5 controller. However, having a magnetic piece in there that just instantly sits in place means that you don't have to worry about that. On top of all of that, the base also comes with 2 fans built in the bottom, and at a touch of a button, the fans will start powering up and cooling down your PlayStation 5. Now, as for how much they cool the PlayStation 5, I can't really say. And honestly, they're a little bit noisy for my liking. So whenever I do use them, I tend to use them intermittently, or at times when I've got the PlayStation 5 in rest mode and I'm just letting the console cool after a long play session. Like I say, this is the only question mark I have about the base. I'm not sure how well the fans actually cool, because the vents seem to face downwards, and usually you're going to have it on a flat surface. So I don't really see where else that hot air can actually escape. I don't see any extra exhausts on the base. But even if it manages to cool it down just a little bit, every little extra bit helps. Now finally, and what I think is, for me personally, the most important thing about this base is it makes the PlayStation 5 hella sturdy. You see, the normal base that the PlayStation 5 comes with is really good. It helps the PlayStation 5 stay stood up, but I wouldn't say it's almost impossible to knock over. And for me, having little kids around the house, and as much as I try to keep them out the game room, they're always going to find a way, and sometimes I always worried that they would topple the PlayStation 5 when it was stood up. However, on the Benez cap cooling base, I have no fears about the PlayStation 5 being toppled. It creates such a sturdy base, and it screws in so well, it would take quite a lot of effort, and you would specifically have to be trying to knock over the PlayStation 5 to make it topple. That for me is a really important feature, especially if you plan to have your PlayStation 5 stood up, because I've also seen some other cooling base options on the market which offer some similar features to this one, but none of them seem to have the surface area of the Benez cap that give you that extra confidence when your PlayStation 5 is stood upright. Now the only other thing I will say about this fan base is it only does work when your PlayStation 5 is stood upright. There's no options for it to support your PlayStation 5 if you want to go horizontally. Now that would have been a nice extra. Maybe it's asking too much, but it would have been nice, because again, the PlayStation 5 solution for your base when it's on horizontal isn't that sturdy at all. Even just moving around your PlayStation 5, the provided base just slips and slides everywhere. So it would be nice to see other options with similar features, like charging your controllers, stacking your games, storing your headphones, that enabled you to actually have your PlayStation 5 horizontally. Because one thing is for certain about the PlayStation 5, this thing is a beast, and you pretty much have to go with whatever whatever your setup enables you to do. It's not like any other console where you can basically make your own choices to whether you want it horizontal or stood up. You're kind of dictated by the space and the places that you want to have your PlayStation 5 as to how you store it. But if you are going for the vertical option, this base is a really nice extra. Now, if you are interested in any of these products, I'll put links to them in the description below. There will also be a voucher code for 20% off the charging dock if you fancy it, but that voucher will only be valid until April 2021. Also, it's worth noting that as of recording this episode, the cooling base is currently out of stock, but I'm pretty certain with the popularity of it, it should be back in stock soon, and hopefully by the time you see this episode. Now, if you've enjoyed this episode and you love PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 5 content, then hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future episodes. Once again, thank you for watching and see you next time. If you want to show your support for Chronik Spartan games, then you can head on over to chronicspartan.com and check out our indie games. You can become a Chronik Spartan patron at patreon.com, or you can kick off your shoes and relax your socks with some Chronik Spartan merch from tpublic.com. All links are in the description below. But the simplest and easiest way to show your support is to just hit that subscribe button. Thank you for tuning in.